Hello friends, Abhishek here with tutorial on layouts in Android. Android development is basically creating application for Android devices. It has two major components, front end which is coded in XML and back end which is coded in Java or Kotlin. Layouts are mainly of three types, linear layout, relative layout and constraint layout. Today, we will talk about linear layouts. In linear layout, the content is placed in a linear fashion, either from top to bottom or left to right. So let's make a new Android project by clicking on Start a new Android project. Android comes with some predefined templates for applications. We will make our project from scratch. So I will select empty activity template from the list and click on next. Now in the name field enter the name of the application. I will set it as layout tutorials. Each application has a package within which all the files are packed together. It will have default package name and followed by the application name. You can change it as you feel like. I have mine as in.abhishek saxena followed by the application name. Select the location where you want to save the project in your computer and then select the language you want to develop the application in. You can develop the application in Java or Kotlin. Now Kotlin is the official language for Android development and the language recommended by Google, so I will choose Kotlin. If you know Java, then switching to Kotlin will not be a very challenging task for you. Lastly, Android will ask the application compatibility. This means which Android version onwards your application will be supported. I will choose KitKat as my application will be compatible with the 98% of the devices out there. You can click on help me choose if you need help with which version you should select from the list. You can change this within your application once the project is built. Once you are ready, click on the finish button to build the project. Each Android application needs some code to run, which is other than your logic. This code basically connects front-end and back-end, sets the permission for the application, sets the libraries, and predefined functions. This is called boilerplate code, which each application has. Once that is done, you can begin creating your first layout. The Android Studio could be overwhelming for the beginners as it has so many buttons, widgets, and functions. Well, it is fairly simple to use and understand. We will go through all the buttons and their functionality as we progress with the tutorials. The center of the screen is called the workspace. On the left and right side there are tabs. On the top there are menu buttons. On the bottom you can find another set of tabs that is to do logcat, version control, etc. On your left there is a project tab which displays the files in your project like manifest files, Java, REST and Gradle files. We will talk about each type later. For now, focus on two folders, Java and REST. A Java folder contains all the Java files which contains the logic. The REST will have the XML files which contains the design of your application. In simple words, if there is a door, how the door is going to look will be coded in XML, while how it is going to function will be coded in Java or Kotlin. So click on the rest to expand the folder. To view the files inside it, click on layout directory and then open the file activity_main.xml. Before moving on, each screen that you see on your phone, Android calls it activity. So there could be login activity, home activity, register activity and many more. Our application will have single activity, that is main activity. By default, it will have constraint layout and a hello world text view. We will be learning about linear layout today, so replace the constraint layout tag with linear layout. Also, in the hello world text view, there are constraint layout attributes. Let's remove them as well. Once removed, your code should look like this. In a layout, you can nest any widget or another layout. The widgets are nothing but components like text view, edit text, spinner, which is a drop-down menu, checkboxes, and radio buttons. Let's add a text view to the layout by adding a tag text view. Each widget must have dimensions. It could be match parent, which means that the dimensions of the view or widget will be equal to the parent's dimensions. Wrap content, which means that the dimension will be set dynamically depending on the content of the view. And lastly, you can set the dimensions manually like 20 dp, 30 dp. The unit of measurement here is dp, density independent pixel. Add the text by adding attribute called text and give the value as name. Once done, close the tag. You can see that the text view is on the right of the hello world text view. On the top right corner of the workspace, There are three icons. First will display just the code, the second will display preview along with the code, and third will display just the preview and the blueprint. Click on the second button to display the code as well as the preview window. If you can't see clearly, zoom in the screen by clicking on the plus icon on the bottom right corner of the preview window and use the hand to move across the screen. The name text view is on the right of the Hello World text view. This is because the default orientation of the linear layout is horizontal. You can change it by adding orientation attribute to the layout tag and set the value as vertical. Now, the name text view is below the Hello World text view as intended. Let's add an edit text which is used to take text input like name, password, email or phone number. Give the dimensions layout underscore width as match parent and layout underscore height as wrap content. Lastly, add a button. As before, set the dimensions as wrap content for both layout underscore width and layout underscore height. Set the text as submit. Once done, close the tag. As you can see, the widgets are one after another in a linear fashion. We can set various attributes to the widgets to create beautiful layouts. One of them is layout underscore margin. It will give margin to the widgets in all the four directions, top, bottom, start or end. Add layout underscore margin attribute to the edit text and set the value as 20 dp. It got the margin in all the four directions of 20 dp. You can give margin to a specific direction with different value in each direction. Like set layout underscore margin top as 20 dp and layout underscore margin start as 40 dp. This will give margin on the top and start. To make it look even better, you can add margin to the end of the view using layout underscore margin end as 40 dp. Now add margin start as 40 dp and margin top as 20 dp to name text view and submit button to align it with the edit text. Just like margin, there is an attribute called padding. The difference is the padding adds margin internally, increasing the dimension of the widget. You can add padding in all the four directions by simply using padding and setting the value. Give padding to the button as 50 dp. The size increased. You can add padding to a particular direction using padding start, for example. Set padding start as 20 dp, padding end as 20 dp, padding top and padding bottom as 10 dp. Last but not the least, another important attribute of linear layout is gravity. Gravity and layout underscore gravity. Gravity is used to set the location of the widget like start, top, bottom or center. Then why there is a need for two gravities? The layout underscore gravity sets the gravity of the widget, whereas gravity sets the gravity of the content of the widget. Here, let me change the layout underscore gravity of name text view to center. It moved to center, obviously. What if I change it to center underscore vertical? Let's see. It moved back to the original location. This is because you can set layout underscore gravity opposite to the orientation of the layout. When I set it to center, it applied both center underscore vertical and center underscore horizontal. You can confirm this by setting the layout underscore gravity to center underscore horizontal. You can also set layout underscore gravity to start or end. Just like center underscore vertical, top or bottom will have no effect on the text. Here's an example. I set it to top, nothing. I set it to bottom, nothing. The reason is the content is set in a linear fashion, one after another, either vertical or horizontal. So, setting the gravity in the same direction as the orientation will have no effect. Now, coming to the gravity. Set it as center or start or end. You won't see any change in the view. This is because of the wrap content. The dimension of the view is equal to the size of the content of the view. The gravity attribute sets the location of the content of the view. Since there is no space to move the content inside it, the gravity attribute has no effect. Once you set one of the dimensions as match parent or greater than the size of the content, the gravity attributes do its magic. Here's an example. I set the layout underscore width as match parent. Now set the gravity as start. The name text view moved to start. Now change it to center or end. It moved to the respective location. But if you set the gravity as top or bottom, it will move back to the start as the height is wrap content and top and bottom are at the same place in the view. These are small concepts which help a lot in making nested and complex layouts. I hope you guys learned something new today. Please hit like and subscribe to support me and hit the bell icon for notification. See you in the next video. Happy coding.